Up next, in the trenches with an employment attorney and a tort reform activist. Stay with us. Welcome back. We're tracking the latest news and decisions addressing bias in the workplace. And joining me is Darren McKinney of the American Tort Reform Association. Welcome. And Debra Katz, employment attorney. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Now, Debra, your latest article in Ms. Magazine said that Congress should go further than the Ledbetter decision. What do you think Congress should do?
Well, a number of very important things. One would be to get rid of loopholes in existing laws that benefit employers that discriminate. And the Equal Pay Act now allows employers to get out of liability by asserting that there's unequal pay for men and women based on the negotiating skills, for example, of the man who got the job and got paid more, or the fact that the man had a higher wage and therefore the employer was simply paying him what he earned in his past position. The Paycheck Fairness Act would get rid of that as a loophole in the law, and it would also increase the remedies available to people who prove discrimination. Right now, the remedy for Equal Pay Act violations is extremely limited. But under new laws that have been introduced and hopefully will be reintroduced in this Congress, people who prove discrimination can receive both compensatory damages and punitive damages. And that would be a significant...
Let me see what Darren McKinney thinks. I presume you disagree on both points.
As much as I love Debra, I couldn't disagree more. The last thing this economy needs right now is more lawsuits. And both the Lilly Ledbetter Act and the Fair Paycheck Act will do little more than gin up thousands and thousands of lawsuits aimed at American employers who just may very well get so tired of these lawsuits in the not-so-distant future that they take precious American jobs, precious as is with an 8.1% unemployment rate, and take them overseas. Let
me make sure, when you say they'll do little more, that implies to me you don't think that there is a discrimination problem in the workplace to address?
I wouldn't say, by no means would I say that there aren't individual employers here and there who may discriminate in an illegal way against any given employee. But I can tell you certainly from my knowledge of American employers that it is not in the interest of an American employer to treat his or her workers shabbily or unfairly. If you have a good worker, you want to do what you reasonably can to keep that worker happy so he or she doesn't go down the street and work for the competition. And if we're talking about bad workers, I don't know why Congress is getting involved and thinking that bad workers ought to be protected.
Okay, this is a straw man argument. No one is suggesting that bad workers should be protected.
They'll file lawsuits.
What we are suggesting is that people should be paid equally without regard to gender, age, race, national origin. That's discriminatory. And whether we're in a bad economic environment or a good economic environment, employers should not be able to benefit by paying women 77 cents to the dollar that men earn. That's discriminatory. It should be made illegal, and the laws that allow loopholes to allow these kind of discriminatory practices to perpetuate should be closed, especially during an economic downturn. Women should not be paid less. Nor should older people, and that's who gets hit hardest in this kind of economic downturn.
Loopholes.
Look, if we're going to let members of Congress or state court judges, much less lay juries, make decisions for business owners and operators, what is a fair pay, what is this given employee worth vis-a-vis that employee, we're going to be going down the wrong road real fast.
That's not what we're saying. That's not what these laws do.
Let me say what I'm saying.
Well, but you have. I want to understand why. It seems to me he has made a summary of what the effort is.
No,
tell me in what way he's wrong.
We're not comparing people who are, for example, janitors with people who are in predominantly female professions where they're earning less. We're talking about people who are performing the same work, but men are earning more.
But how do you know they're not performing the work better? And how is it for you, from a distance, or me, or anyone else, to make that decision to how the employer ought to spend his or her money.
So you basically think neither Congress nor the courts should get into equalizing
I think we
pay.
ought to be treading very, very lightly. I don't hear the Democrats in Congress, who receive a lot of campaign contributions from Barbra Streisand, suggesting that she be paid exactly what Celine Dion be paid for a Las Vegas concert. It's you know, if we're gonna dictate pay, then let's talk about everybody's
We get the point,
pay.
and unfortunately we're out of time. We have to leave it there. I want to thank you both, Darren McKinney of the American Tort Reform Association and Debra Katz, employment attorney and contributor to Ms. Magazine.
Thank you.
Thanks. And next we look at a 10-year-old age bias battle in Hollywood. Stay with us.